have no regrets.
So when I saw this moment, I was just thinking about myself and a lot of emotions and grieving that I have. I don't know how the executives over at Turn What USA sleep at night. Okay. I don't know how you can present yourselves as a Christian organization and not be dedicating yourself to truth. Let it with the process, you tell the truth.
Okay, so Charlie Kirk whispered something to Candace Owens, something he couldn't say out loud to anyone else. He'd done it secretly without telling a soul. He DNA tested his own children, and the results? They shattered him. But here's the thing, Charlie never got the chance to confront his wife about it, because days later, he was dead. The secret almost died with him. Almost. Candace Owens made sure it didn't. She started talking, started asking questions nobody else would ask. Questions that made people uncomfortable. And that's when Erika Kirk allegedly came for her. Now the internet is on fire. Is Candace exposing the truth? Or is she destroying a widow who's already lost everything? The lines are drawn, and everyone's picking a side. Candace says she's being hunted, attacked from every angle, and leading the charge, Erika Kirk herself.
Erika is kind of sending a message here that she's not standing against the people that are telling the truth. I said early on, if Erika Kirk asks me to be quiet, I will be quiet. She didn't ask me to be quiet. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
There are claims, serious claims, that Erika picked up the phone and called a judge, that she personally pushed for a gag order to silence Candace, to legally force her into silence. Think about that for a second. A gag order, not a public statement, not a lawyer's letter, a judge. Candace's response was ice cold. She said she'd defy it. She told the world she wouldn't back down. She said what she learned could burn the house down, that Charlie had been betrayed by everyone. Everyone. Let that word hang in the air for a minute. The comments exploded. People read between the lines instantly. If Charlie was betrayed by everyone, that means Erika too. His wife, the mother of his children, the person who was supposed to be closest to him. Thousands of people flooded Candace's post demanding answers, demanding proof, demanding names. One comment racked up tens of thousands of likes. Don't hold back, Candace. Release it all. The world needs to know. The mob wanted blood. They wanted justice. They wanted revenge for Charlie. And Candace? She was ready to give it to them. Then she dropped more. Details that made people's jaws hit the floor. Information that allegedly made Erika and her team panic. Information that changed the entire conversation. And suddenly, people started rewatching everything Erika had done since Charlie died, every interview, every public appearance, every single word she'd spoken, and they started saying, oh, now it makes sense. Maybe Charlie had a reason not to trust her. Maybe that DNA test wasn't paranoia or jealousy or insecurity. Maybe it was survival instinct. Maybe Charlie saw something the rest of us didn't. Two moments keep replaying across social media. Two moments that people can't stop dissecting. The first, Erika publicly praising Mikey McCoy, one of Charlie's closest guys, one of his inner circle. She called him brave, called him a hero, thanked him publicly.
Chief of Staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
But wait, here's what people noticed. McCoy allegedly left the scene right after the shooting. He was there when it happened, and then he vanished, gone. So why is Erika thanking him? Why is she praising someone who disappeared when Charlie needed help most? Then there's the second moment, the one everyone can't stop talking about, the one that went absolutely viral. Erika on stage with J.D. Vance. It was supposed to be a tribute event, a solemn moment to honor Charlie's memory, to remember who he was. But Erika looked at Vance and said something that stopped people cold. She said she saw Charlie in him, not that Vance reminded her of Charlie, not that he had similar qualities.
No one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do.
She said she saw Charlie in J.D. Vance. The internet tore that sentence apart word by word. People said you don't use those words by accident. That phrasing was intentional, deliberate, that it meant something deeper. So now everyone's asking the uncomfortable question, what was happening behind closed doors? If this is how Erika acts in public after Charlie's gone, what was she doing when he was alive? When he was watching? When he was paying attention? What did Charlie see? What made him so suspicious, so paranoid, so desperate desperate that he secretly tested his own children's DNA without telling anyone. People are saying the DNA test wasn't the action of a crazy person. It wasn't jealousy. It wasn't insecurity. It was justified. Charlie knew something, and he was trying to prove it. Fast forward to the courtroom drama. The defense team wants no cameras. They want this trial buried deep in legal proceedings, away from public eyes, away from social media, away from the mob. Erika Kirk, she fought that request hard. She went public and said the case tells the whole story of what happened to Charlie. She called the accused's actions true evil. She said the world deserves to see justice play out. That transparency matters. She's demanding cameras, demanding exposure, demanding the truth be seen. That's her official position.
The defense wants to ban cameras in the courtroom. How do you feel about that?
There were cameras all over my husband when he was murdered. There have been cameras all over my friends and family mourning. There have been cameras all over me, analyzing my every move, analyzing my every smile, my every tear. We deserve to have cameras in there. Why not be transparent? There's nothing to hide. I know there's not, because I've seen what the case is built on. Let everyone see what true evil is. Let everyone see and know how it happened.
But Candace Owens isn't buying a single word of it. She's pointing at the cracks in the story, the inconsistencies, the things that don't quite line up no matter how you look at them.
The entire issue and the energy right now is that people, irrespective of what's happening on paper, don't believe the story. They don't believe the story. And you are, and of course, this is only a snippet of the interview, so I'm sure more will be said here. But I'm getting that you have seen the case. You think it's a solid case. She thinks it's a solid case at least, and is saying, show everybody what you have so they can see true evil. Within her capacity of chairman and CEO of Turning Point USA, they could be more transparent about what happened that day. People don't like the stuff that they've seen about Mikey McCoy. They don't like what they've seen about Rob McCoy. They don't like the history of Rob and Mikey McCoy.
Autopsy results that still haven't been released to the public, bullet casings that are allegedly missing from evidence, and a growing crowd of people online who genuinely seriously believe Charlie Kirk might still be alive. Candace is saying, if the official story is so clean, so airtight, so perfectly explained, why are there so many loose ends? Why are basic facts still being hidden? And if Erika's so confident in the narrative, why is she working overtime to silence anyone who asks questions? Why the gag order? Why the threats? Something doesn't add up. But here's what really gets people talking, what really makes the story feel wrong. Erika didn't mourn quietly. She didn't take time away from the public eye. She didn't grieve in private. She took over. Within days of Charlie's death, she was announced as the new CEO of Turning Point USA. Charlie's organization, his baby, his life's work, and the way she announced it, the way she framed it, people said it felt like a power move, like a corporate takeover dressed up as tribute, like ambition disguised as duty. While the rest of the world was demanding answers about what happened to Charlie, Erika was posting about leadership and responsibility and stepping into her new role. Candace says Erika turned Charlie's death into a promotion, that she's riding his legacy straight to the top, that she's using his name to build her own empire, and it gets messier, so much messier. Candace claims the betrayal didn't stop with Erika. She's saying Charlie's whole inner circle was rotten, that he was surrounded by people he couldn't trust. Tyler Bowyer, TPUSA's chief operating officer. Candace has thrown his name directly into the fire. Allegations of shady behavior, inappropriate conduct.
Also, another person who wrote us was telling me the story about Tyler Boyer's involvement in like Maricopa County politics in general. Like, what did he do before in Arizona? And yeah, it's just the kind of stories. Again, he said he approached him several times about embezzlement. You know, Tyler was hooking up with young interns, young male interns, or young male workers, and he didn't even care. He's like, I will go on record because all this happened, and I had the proof that all this happened. And everybody knows about Tyler Boyer at Turning Point USA. It's like an absurdity. But this is the person that is putting people into places of power at Turning Point.
Questionable dealings, a culture of lies and backstabbing. If Charlie seemed paranoid before he died, if he was constantly looking over his shoulder, Candace says this is exactly why. He wasn't crazy. He was drowning in snakes. And Erika? She allegedly defended them. All of them. The very people accused of stabbing Charlie in the back, of betraying his trust, of destroying him from the inside. Erika stood right beside them, protected them, vouched for them. To Candace's army of supporters, that's all the proof they need. Erika was never on Team Charlie. She was never fighting for him. She was always part of the problem. Now people are going even further. They're whispering about the children, quietly asking if that DNA test confirmed Charlie's absolute worst fear, the fear that kept him up at night. Meanwhile, the machine keeps trying to crush Candace. The gag order didn't work, so they threatened defamation lawsuits. When that didn't stick, they went after her credibility, her reputation, her sanity. Viral posts claiming she's mentally unstable, accusations of postpartum psychosis. Erika's supporters painting Candace as unhinged, delusional, dangerous. But Candace won't stop. She won't be silenced. She won't back down. So here's what it all comes down to. Charlie Kirk took a DNA test in secret. The results devastated him, broke him, and before he could do anything about it, before he could confront anyone, he was gone. Candace Owens says she's the only one still fighting for him, that everyone else moved on, that Erika is scrambling, panicking, fighting tooth and nail to keep something buried. And according to Candace, it's not about protecting Charlie's memory. It's not about justice. It's not about truth. It's about protecting what that DNA test proved. The clock is ticking. The pressure is mounting. The cracks are spreading. And the truth? It's clawing its way to the surface. Someone's terrified of what happens when it finally breaks through.